Hey friends, welcome back to the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. My name is Sophia and today I'm sharing a card using the Garden Bouquet stamp set and dies from Altenew. Aren't they just gorgeous? So this has got like a giant flower image, which as you can see is pretty big. So you're not going to be able to fit that on a single card unless you're making like a 5x7, and even then I think you would still only have part of that image on the card. So I'm going to open this up and actually show you this little pamphlet that it came with, which I've never seen before, but then again I don't buy a lot of Altenew, so I don't know. It is really cool though, and it gives you a bunch of ideas on how you can use the stamp set and dies. And as you can see there, they're still only using part of that garden bouquet image. So I really like what they've done there, and they give you all the colors they've used to watercolor those images. And on the right there, you can see all the additional products that you can buy, like that watercolor palette. And it even gives you like a practice coloring area if you wanted to practice your painting. So I'm going to go ahead and start making my card. So I've started with a just a regular card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that is in the thick Whisper White. I'm then going to take the stamp set and I'm going to lay it kind of on top of my card base to see how I'm going to want that on the card, or like how much of the card the image is actually going to take up. So I think we could do it like this way, like kind of angled, or you could have it a little bit on both sides, like in the corners of the card. And then have like a greeting in the center. But I was just kind of turning and rotating that image to see how it's going to look. And then I came up with a really cool idea. So I'm going to start by making a background. So I've just got a card front panel here, and it's pretty much the exact same card size as my card base. So just a little under 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So I'm just brushing on some ink, and that's Lumberjack Plaid, the Distress Oxide ink. And then I'm using, it's not Kitsch Flamingo. Sorry, I can't remember what the name of that one is, but it's a pink color. I should have used a bigger blending brush here, but I did not. And then for my last color, I'm using orange, and I just want it to be a really fun, bright, rainbowy background. So I'm just blending all those colors together and making sure that the entire card base there, or the panel, is covered. Now I'm just taking some plain water and I'm just going to sprinkle that over to get that distress looked. And I love the way that water reacts with these inks. So it just turns a little bit white and makes it look like a distressed background. Now I've took all of the little sentiments from that stamp set and I'm going to stamp it all over there. So I've got hey, hello, hugs, XOXO, you inspire me, best wishes. And then this way we can kind of use the card for whatever you want. Like you can send it as a hello card, or I'm thinking of you, whatever your little heart desires, or whoever you're giving that to. And yeah, when I looked at the stamp set, I kind of got this idea because how the stamps were laid out in the set, but it ended up actually looking pretty cool, so I was happy with it. And there's no real rhyme or reason to this. I'm kind of just stamping randomly. I didn't really organize it beforehand, and I think that's what makes it look just like a real background that you would find in like patterned paper. So that's my background. I guess I missed one of the greetings there. Oh yeah, it's the XOXO, and so I'm just adding that in little spots before moving on with the rest of my card. And I was really happy with how this background turned out. You could do it with blues and yellows and purples. I think a purple and blue one would look really good. Also, green and yellow would look really good. Whatever kind of coordinates, I think that's what I would use. So now I'm just going to move on, and I'm going to pull out my stamping platform, the MISTI, to stamp this giant image because I don't have a block that's this size. And so I'm just inking up my giant stamp there. And it's a good thing that I used the MISTI because look at the way that it turned out there the first time. If you were using a block that was that big, you would have to line it up over there again. And so the MISTI is just a very handy tool to have when you're doing giant stamps or even just sentiments. So I didn't re-ink it there. I just pushed down on the spaces that I thought were looking a little blank. So now I'm just going to take that big die, line it up properly, and run it through my die cutting machine. And here is the image. So I think I'm going to put it on just like this. I'm not going to add any color to this because the background is so colored. And then I'm going to use the greeting that says, "You make my life colorful." And I think that that's so cool because the flower itself is not inked up, but the background is. And so the greeting just fit on there perfectly. So I've attached some dimensionals or foam squares to that, and I'm just removing them. And I'm going to line that up how I want it on the background. And then I'm just going to trim off the excess of that flower. And I did end up using that piece for the inside of my card. I didn't throw it away. So now we're just going to do the greeting, and I'm just going to get that set up on a block. I feel like the best way to do this is just to put the greeting, just throw it down onto your surface and then pick it up with your block. So I'm going to heat emboss this on black in white, and so I'm just using Versamark, and I use that little lint roller to just remove any fingerprints from there and then stamped it. I find this is the best way to just get the embossing powder on the sticky part versus like little crumbs everywhere. And then just heat embossing it to get that beautiful white color. Then I just trimmed it and made it a little bit angular because that was the look I was going for. And then I decided that this greeting needs a little bit of twine or something in the background. So I pulled out a little piece of gold twine, and I've attached a little bit of glue to the back of that greeting, and then I just swirled it around there. Again, not really thinking about or making it super complicated. I just wanted to have the effect of the twine there. And then I attached some mini foam squares just to hold that in place. And then I am going to attach that to the front of the card. And isn't that just gorgeous? So now we're going to take this panel and attach it to the card base. For that, I'm using liquid glue, just so when I get it onto the card base, if I have to wiggle it around or move it, I can. And I just made it very slightly smaller. So you'll see a little bit of a white border, and that'll tie in with that white flower in the front. And then the final touch is I'm just adding some champagne rhinestones onto the card to make it match with the gold twine that I've also put on there. I always like to just, bejazz my cards just a little bit. I can't just leave it without putting on any. I think the rhinestones are always my favorite part of the card because they really finish it off. So that's my card for you today, guys. And there's so many different ways you can use this stamp set, but I just wanted to do something different, not really what's in those tutorials, just to show you how versatile this really is. So I hope you've enjoyed my card today. Make sure to pop back onto the channel and check out what the other designers have been doing. They always have some gorgeous cards, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, my friends. Have a good day. Bye.